December 2nd. Alright, today's funeral is for a woman who died from breast cancer. Nothing fancy, just a standard cremation. Please don't hesitate to ask me if you have any questions. Best, Amy Rose. We got a note from Lizzie Duvall. Thank you for the wonderful evening you and your staff put together for my father's funeral. He wasn't always an easy man to get along with, but I'm glad to have seen him off in such a kind way. Jen sent us meet cutes for death-positive cuties. Charlie, I was doing some reading. I know, you hate when I try to give you dating advice, but hear me out. There's this dating site that's specifically for people working in the death industry. Okay, so maybe I'm a little worried for you. You haven't mentioned anybody new since the breakup of 2014 that we will never speak of again after this moment. But you're always saying how tired you get of people being scared to ask about your day, so maybe meeting somebody in the industry isn't the worst idea? Just promise me you'll consider it, okay? It's harder for me to make sure you're seeing sunlight when I'm all the way across the ocean. I know you... Hiccups? No, it's not the time. I know you look like a babe with the pale skin and witchy gothy aesthetics are super hot right now, but vitamin D is still a good thing. Mom rant over. I'm going to try it out because it turns out people get super scared off when you tell them you work in a museum filled with dead bodies. Do you know how not interesting to other people find tetromas? Charlie, I didn't know we were this weird to outside people. I've been spoiled by having a best friend who's as much of a weirdo as I am. Miss you. Let's grab a bottle of wine for our next Skype date. P.S. If you signed up for Dead Meat, isn't that the best name for a death industry dating website? Tinder rules apply. You have to like me if you come across my profile or whatever. I'm not sure how it works just yet, though. Jen! Forward. Paycheck coming late. Sorry. From Matthew. I don't like the look of this, not one bit. I know you've only been with us for a few months, but maybe you're aware of the trouble Amy's been having. A small mom and pop shop like Rosen Daughters can't compete with the bigger guys. Anyway, don't tell Amy I sent this to you. Also, I'm starving, so I'm gonna grab some fast food before taking this hearse through the car wash. 2 birds, 1 stone, and swinging back to the home. Do you want anything? Beef and cheddar? I'm gonna take the hearse through the drive-thru, of course. It freaks people out. I love it. They get so awkward. Let me know. I'm heading out in 15 minutes. Matthew. From Amy to Matthew. Hey Matthew, this is embarrassing, but it seems I miscalculated some of our income and I don't have enough to pay you this week. Would it be terribly inconvenient if I cut you a check for next week instead? If you need the money urgently, please let me know. I feel terrible about this whole thing and I can cut you a check from my personal account if need be. I'm so sorry about this. I assure you it won't happen again. Take care, Amy Rose. Yeah, virtual. This is interesting. LGBTQ funerals. Respect. From Funerals Monthly. If you've been a long-time subscriber to our emails or follow us on social media, you've no doubt heard about the misgendering that transgender people are, at times, subjected to during their funerals. There have been notable situations where trans women have had their wishes overruled by their families and have had their hair cut, are buried under the wrong names, or are subjected to wrong pronouns in their obituary announcements. We care a lot about this because we believe in treating every person with the same level of compassion, respect, and care, and this absolutely extends to pronouns and respecting the deceased's wishes as per their lived experiences. The CDC's Funeral Director's Handbook on Death Registration and Fetal Death Reporting offers the fraught directive: enter male or female based on observation. Do not abbreviate or use other symbols. If sex cannot be determined after verification with medical records, inspection of the body, or other sources, enter unknown. Do not leave this item blank. Leaving it up to observation, obviously, enters into a world of issues since bodies can be so different, and because of ingrained bias, people can draw incorrect assumptions based on their own inaccurate observations. California has passed what is known as the Respect After Death Act, which states that a death certificate must reflect the deceased's gender identity as they lived it. So a step in the right direction. People who are trans deserve the same respect in death that people who are cisgender receive. Misgendering in death takes away this respect. It can also inflict hurt and trauma on spouses and friends that survive the deceased. So what can we do as funeral directors? Listen to the people who come into your office. In America especially, some marriages may not be recognized as legal depending on the laws around same-sex marriage, but this doesn't mean you're not dealing with two people who have loved each other in the same way as another couple. Listen, learn, and always be respectful. While you have to work with the next of kin, your duty is also to ensure the deceased receives the utmost respect in their burial. If a funeral is to honor the deceased, then do that. Honor them. Before we cremate Mrs. Hall, we'll need to prepare her body. Mrs. Hall's family brought clothes and jewelry for her to wear. It's important to remove these before cremation so they don't damage them. Let's take the necklace off. We'll place the necklace in the urn with her remains later. To identify the remains after she's been cremated, we put the ID tag in the coffin and she's ready to go. In she goes. Okay, there we go. This is the cremulator. Contrary to popular belief, cremation doesn't turn bodies into ash as much as bone fragments. Using the cremulator, we'll break those fragments down into ash-like remains. So we place the urn in the cremulator, and then we take the bits and drop them. The bits. Drop them. Wow! Oh god, I was gonna feel so bad if I missed. Urn goes back to the counter. Necklace goes back in the urn. ID tag goes in the urn. Lid goes on. There we go. Amy will take the urn to the parlor and present it alongside some flowers. Oh no, more small talk. She would have hated this music. She never wanted her funeral to be sad. She would have wanted us smiling. She said so. She fought really hard. She was proud of herself. She never gave up, not once. Glad she was cremated and not in like an open casket or something. Seeing her like that, I don't know if I could have. At least we all got to say goodbye. She would have liked that. This is nice in a weird way. She'd like that we're all here talking. She always tried to keep the family together. And the food is delicious. I know that's weird, but these crab cakes are perfect. Alright, so we've seen the people, we've done the thing, and now it's February 14th. Valentine's Day, and we're at work? I guess that tracks. Okay. What the hell? News about the future of Rose and Daughter's funeral home. From Amy Rose. Hi all. It is with a very heavy heart that I write to let you all know that Rose and Daughters will no longer be in business. I had no idea how to start this email, and resources I googled told me this would be the best and easiest way to break the ice. Be direct, but remorseful, Google said. The truth is, I don't really know what to say. Since my father passed away, I've done my best to make Rose and Daughters warm and friendly to anyone who chose to use our services. It was my memorial to him, the original Rose, in a lot of ways, and you've all become like family, including you, Charlie, our most recent addition. But it's been getting harder to make ends meet. Rent is going up in the neighborhood, and I'm finding less and less like I have the energy for this business. There's a lot of competition from other funeral homes, larger corporations than we are that can take on more business and offer more impressive services. You know the way it goes. So we've been bought, or I sold. Either way, soon, Hillside Heritage Enterprises, Inc., a company that owns many funeral homes in the city and across the country, will replace Rose and Daughters starting from the beginning of next month. Same building, same name. They're keeping the name Rose and Daughters Funeral Home for tax purposes. Though honestly, I'm trying hard not to just see it as a move on their part to keep up the image that it's a family-run business. I don't know how I feel about that, but I also don't know if there's anything I can do at this point either. I've signed the papers. At least my father's legacy is still intact somewhat. They have a good reputation and have agreed to keep you all on. That was one of my stipulations. I would sell as long as you all weren't without a job. Sorry I didn't tell you in a more personal way. I would have loved to have a company lunch, but I admittedly didn't have the heart to tell you in person. This was easier. Please understand. Sincerely, Amy. Oh, my feelings. Also, tired. Getting buried at sea sounds like fun. Did you know that they can actually turn your ash into... They mix it with concrete and use it to make artificial reefs. That part's really cool. We did get a thank you note from Margarita Hall. I'm so eternally grateful that you were able to accommodate our requests for my sister's funeral. It was a beautiful service, and she would have been happy with it. That's such a weird thing to say, isn't it? Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Sincerely, Margarita. Hi, Charlie. Please see the note below about the pacemaker. They can be tricky. Hi, Amy. You asked if there were any special instructions we wanted to pass along. Just please cremate my father. He has a pacemaker, too. The doctor told me that would need to be removed. Thanks, Mariana. Forward. I don't know what to do. To Charlie. I thought I would forward this to you. In situations like this, we typically connect people like Ryan with a grief counselor or other professionals who can really help him. Sometimes we get emails like this when people don't know where else to turn. It's difficult, and family isn't always the most reliable for some people. Usually I'd be happy to connect him, but I'm feeling a little tired today, not my usual self. It'd be good for you to start building these kinds of relationships on your own. You're a treasure, Charlie. Amy. Now, from Ryan. Hi, Amy. I know this email might be a bit odd, but you said if I was ever having troubles, I should reach out, and you would know somebody I could talk to about all this. I don't know what to do now. I know my grandmother had lived a full, good life and was very happy, and she's not in any pain now, but I still feel empty, Amy. I've never felt this empty before. What am I supposed to do now? I thought I was stronger than this. Can you refer me to someone to talk to? I don't want to freak out my mom right now. She's dealing with enough with work and the will and trying to just be the best mom she can. I just need somebody to tell me that it'll be okay. Thank you, and I'm sorry for being an inconvenience. Ryan. A challenger approaches from Jin. Charlie! I've been playing a new game when things are slow at work. It's called Tales from the Crypt Sweeper. Get it? Get it? Playing Minesweeper, but way harder. Like seriously, it's really, really difficult. And I thought my Minesweeper game was on point after working that overnight front desk job at that hotel for 3 years. But I must have gotten rusty. Anyway, instead of mines, you want to avoid graves so you don't disturb the adorable ghosts. And the main character kind of looks like you. Want to start a healthy competition? High score gets to pick the restaurant we go to when one of us is in town next. Jin. Keep on protecting Earth with green burials from Funerals Monthly. You've lived your life mindful of the environment, doing your part to reduce pollution and generally help out where you can. So why not continue doing that even in death? At least that's the thinking for a lot of people who are turning to green or natural burials. Natural cemeteries are becoming more popular and are focused on a few rules. Mainly, it's that bodies aren't allowed to be embalmed with chemicals that can damage the environment, and bodies must be buried in a biodegradable shroud or casket. Not only is this better for the environment, it's also cheaper. At Union Cemetery in Ontario, Canada, a natural burial is just over $1,000. So better for the people and the environment, just maybe not so good for big business. Let's not forget, people, this is still a business after all. But really, why go green? Green burials help preserve natural resources, work to reduce carbon emissions, protect the health of those preparing bodies, and restore and preserve natural habitats. Embalming fluids tend to contain formaldehyde, and funeral directors report a higher incidence of leukemia. Going green and not using toxic chemicals for embalming helps protect funeral directors while at the same time lessening the impact we have on the environment after we're gone. We here at Funeral Monthly think green burials are pretty cool. What do you think? Reply and let us know. So now we get to handle the pacemaker. Okay, Mr. Reyes came directly from the hospital, so we don't have to worry about removing any valuables, and the family didn't give us any to include. He has a pacemaker. Because pacemakers are batteries that explode inside the heat of the cremation machine. So, you open him up. You take it out. And then we just tag the coffin. Okay. Easy peas. I don't like the bone physics. It's stressing me out. They swing too much. Come on, you. Come back. Tag goes in the urn. Lid goes on the urn. Maybe I'll take it to the parlor. I wonder if he ever liked me. He was nice to me, but I don't know. He never seemed like he really cared if I was there or not. Ouch, fair. I always told him to quit smoking, but of course he never listened to me, so that figures. What do you want to do after this? It's pretty nice out. Let's change and go find a patio somewhere. Sounds good. I could really use a beer right now. Hey, did I ever tell you the time we tailgated? He does not seem to be missed. Did you ever end up clearing the air with your father? No, we talked a few times, but no, not really. He sounded like a difficult man. He was stubborn. It's just it. Stubborn.